Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to PTM Racing TV. We are with the Green Mountain Grill's Fast and Fun Truck Series at Dover International Raceway. We have another exciting night of racing as the points battle is starting to heat up. Craig Janzik took the lead last week after a late race incident with James Harris. James is looking to charge to the front tonight, get some bonus points, and possibly get the win. Try and get his lead back, as the front three cars definitely have quite a lead going. We'll talk more about the point situation as the night goes on. The guys are out qualifying. We've got just a few minutes left, and want to start out by saying that we want to thank Green Mountain Grills for sponsoring the series. They have some great grills. I spent a good half hour looking at their website tonight. Fell in love with the Jim Bowie Prime Plus Wi-Fi grill. It has a system built in where you can monitor and control it from an app on your phone sitting on the couch. They also sell all the pellets. These are pellet grills. They sell all the pellets you could want. They sell several different rubs for different types of cooking. They sell accessories for every grill they have, and then some. They have accessories for everything barbecue related. Quite a good selection. And most importantly, they got some really awesome recipes. I'm actually quite hungry now after looking at it. So definitely take some time this week. Go look at Green Mountain Grills. Order yourself a new grill for Christmas, or some rubs for the barbecue person, or accessories for the dad in your life. As qualifying is wrapping up, Craig Janzik is on the pole tonight. Brian Lorenzo's outside. James Harris and Nathan Meyer are on the second row. Jonathan Diamond, Russ Kilgore are on the third. Robert Wynn, Stephen Clegg, Brandon Ball, and Gary Lynch round out your top 10, followed by Daniel Starner in 11th, Jacob Givens, Robert Wynn Jr., John Thacker, Eli Childs, John Fix, Richard Fornshell, and Stephen Pless. So we definitely, it's definitely going to get a little bit interesting here in a few minutes. Craig Janzik on the front row and as the points leader, with James Harris directly behind him. That will definitely make for an interesting start. Looks like we should be seeing these guys starting to grid up any second now. Try and get a look at the front. These guys do line up on pit road. And there you see Craig Janzik in the 21 sitting on the pole. Now Craig, as we've talked about before, puts in a lot of practice laps for this race every week. He had over 200 laps in before I talked to him today, and was planning on putting another 50 to 75 in, and he wasn't that confident. He expected to, he was hoping just for a top 5 tonight, but he's already sitting on the pole. So we'll see what he can pull off if he's that much quicker. Looks like he ran over a tenth of a second faster than Brian Lorenzo, and a tenth and a half faster than James Harris. So we'll make for an interesting start to the race. We'll see if he can get away. We know Craig is good at saving tires, but the looking to see where the king of tires saving is tonight. Robert Wynn started in 7th. And he is planning on saving tires all night long. Starting in 7th, it'll kind of change his strategy. He said he starts in the top 5. He's going to drive hard. If he starts a little further back, kind of plays it by ear, but tries to save tires for the entire race, so that he can be there at the end. And a funny note about that, a couple weeks ago at Texas, Robert Wynn Jr. decided, they usually talk and work the same strategy, but Jr. decided he didn't think Dad could go the distance, and he didn't follow the same strategy as Dad. Dad pulled off the win, saving tires and fuel, and ending up a half a lap in front of everybody else. So We've got some great stories, some interesting facts this week for sure. We're going to have a lot to talk about. Excuse me. As the guys line up and get ready to go green, you'll notice in the upper left-hand corner, James Harris makes a logo for every race, and that is the abominable Miles the Monster for the Monster Mile. That is Dover International Raceway's nickname, the Monster Mile. It is a 1-mile track, 24-degree banks, 9-degree straights. And it is a bit of a monster now. Here they come. The 21 will get to control the start this time by as they drop down to the waiting on the flag man. Watching that 21 there on the outside. Green, green, green. They are gone. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys. We'll see what line the 21 takes into the turn. He drops down low. And we will see, definitely going to be watching James Harris closely tonight. As I said, he is. They've got just 10 races to go in the season. They are points battling up here. And can't forget, race control, Matt Mosniak will be with us. He'll help us when we have some cautions. He'll help us get to that replay a little bit quicker. Craig Janzik's already jumped out to a little bit of a lead. James Harris is trying to close that up. For a guy who wasn't feeling real confident before this race, Craig's doing all right already. But James Harris is trying to close the distance. This track is abrasive. It is hard on the tires. It already had quite a bit of rubber laid down on the track, and it will start getting slippery very, very quickly. We are 3 laps in. Now, Dover is interesting in that if they can make it 5 to 10 laps, they may go green for the entire first 50-lap stage. However, if they start getting one caution after another, they can actually compile on it. As some of the NASCAR folks say, cautions breed cautions. And Dover is a place where if they can keep it green for a few laps, get everybody spread out just a little bit, they can stay green for the entire race. But if they start having a lot of cautions, one caution will bring another one, because these restarts can get awfully tricky. As I said, the first stage is 50 laps, and then the second stage is 70 laps tonight. 2-point bonus to the winner of the first stage, and 1-point bonus for whoever leads the most laps. And those 2 men at the front, they are battling. Craig Janzik, after the late race incident with James Harris, involving James Harris last week, Craig Janzik jumped out. He's got an 11-point lead over James Harris. Robert Wynn Sr. is 22 points behind Craig Janzik. Eli Childs in 4th is 28 points back. And then 5th through 8th, there is a 5-point difference between those guys. That's Jonathan Diamond, Robert Wynn Jr., Stephen Clegg, and Kyle Spees. There is only 5 points between them. They're all 39 points back, but they are very close. The 9th place of Gary Lynch is 6 points back from Kyle Spees, and John Thacker is currently running in 10th, about 9 points behind 9th place. So we are definitely going to see some points battling. I can tell you from talking to these guys throughout the week, they are already thinking about the points. With 10 races left to go, they are thinking about point strategy. They are thinking about getting wins, getting stage wins, and leading laps to get those bonus points, because especially those 4 or 5 guys from 5th back to 8th. Oh, as we see James Harris making a move for the lead. Coming down, finishing up lap 9, starting lap 10. James Harris is down on the inside of that 21 of Craig Janzik. Looks like coming out of turn 2, he is going to take the lead. And that 73, Brian Lorenzo, he's back there lurking with Nathan Meyer right behind him and Russ Kilgore right behind him. These front 5 has started to break away. They've been single file, nose to tail, and we're seeing a move for third, that 24 car. As James Harris jumps out there trying to, looks like he got a little wiggly there. Got a little loose, got into the corner a little bit too high. Gathers it up, still holds on to the lead, but that 73 of Brian Lorenzo, he is already looking to move up into that second position. Craig Janzik is not giving James Harris any room to breathe. Now I can promise you James is going to have, as a 24, ducks to the inside going into the turn. Cannot get it. Thought he had the run, couldn't get it. We'll see if he makes a move in 1 and 2. Nope, he's going to hold it for a minute. As I mentioned, there's already a lot of tire wear down, laid down. They have the track conditions carry over from practice to qualifying and qualifying to race. So we will see. They've got the rubber down, especially in the corners, and as these tires wear and that heats up, it's going to get a little bit slippery. We're going to see quite a bit of action there. As they come around to complete lap 14, still the same front five. James Harris, Craig Janzik, Brian Lorenzo, Nathan Myers, and that 24 keeps looking for that third position, and Ross Kilgore in fifth. Gonna hop back there to the number 39. There is Jonathan Diamond. He is currently running 6th. He is currently 5th in the points, about 11 points behind Eli Childs. In fact, an odd number situation here. Craig Janzik has an 11-point lead over James Harris. James Harris has an 11-point lead over Robert Wynn. And Eli Childs in 4th has an 11-point lead over Jonathan Diamond. So an interesting convergence of numbers there. As the number 16 is looking to the inside, he is making the move for 6th. That is Robert Wynn. That is Robert Wynn Sr. driving that Metallica truck. Looks like he is going to pick up the the 6th position. Moving Jonathan Diamond back to 7th. Robert Wynn currently sitting 3rd in points, 22 points out of the lead. And we know from past experience that Robert Wynn can make that fuel run, can make those tires last. He might be the sleeper tonight. He might just sneak up on everybody. Looks like we've got a car coming out of pit road already. See, that was Garth Snyder. Looked like he had some trouble early. He has been on pit road quite a while. Looks like he is showing about 17 laps down right now, so he must have had some difficulty early on. Now, these guys do have one fast repair tonight if they get into trouble, and they have 5 total sets of tires. The tires that are on now and 4 additional sets. As I said earlier, this track is extremely abrasive. That means they are going to want tires, right about now. 20 laps in, they're going to start wanting some new tires, but they've got to make those tires last. It's a 120 lap race. They need to try and make them last about 25 to 30 laps and then hope for a well-timed caution. Coming to pit road under green, this has one of the slower one of the slower pit road speeds in NASCAR, which means they can end up going as many as 2 laps down with as fast as these guys are going around here. And Craig Janzik is not giving James Harris any room up here in the lead. But we're going to drop back and look at the big mover so far. That is that number 35 truck. Dan Starner started in 11th, already up to 8th. And in front of him, the even bigger mover, looks like they might have been working together here. Eli Childs started in 15th all the way up to 7th already. So we've got some guys that are definitely working their way to the front very quickly. They're going to have to be careful about not melting the tires on the way up there. There's Eli Childs' champion truck. And I keep telling Eli if he would change to a Chevy, he'd get more wins. But he continues to drive that champion Ford and does a really good job with it. He's currently 4th in points, so he's definitely looking for a good finish tonight as he closes in on the truck, the Metallica truck of Robert Wynn. But Robert Wynn is already making some moves again as well. That is Robert Wynn there in that 16 Metallica truck. Looks like he just moved up to 5th as he passed Russ Kilgore. As we scoot up here to the 44, we are starting to see some of these guys look like they went on pit road a little bit early. Not sure if they had a problem or they're just trying to get some fresh tires. Looks like Kyle Spees is on pit road, and Stephen Pless has been on pit road as well as Garth Snyder. And Kyle Spees looks like he has lost 1 lap on pit road. Might possibly lose another here. So we are 27 laps in, and James and Craig have kind of shot out to a big lead. They've got a 2-second lead over third place Nathan Myers. Brian Lorenzo currently in 4th in that 73 truck. Robert Wynn in 5th. Eli Childs, Dan Starner, Russ Kilgore, Stephen Clegg, and John Thacker round out our top 10. John Thacker also 10th in points right now, so you know he's wanting to work his way up. He is definitely wants to pick up some positions on Gary Lynch. Gary Lynch currently running 19th. He started in 10th. Looks like he's having some problem on those old tires. As we're starting to see more cars coming to pit road as they lose a lap. And these leaders are starting to close in and put some laps on these guys. After 30 laps, we will see a stage break in about 20 laps. Let's take a see if we can hop in and get a lap with the leader real quick. He is coming down the back stretch into turn 3. You see it is bumpy. And it looks like he might be starting to get some slip on the back end as he comes out, and they've got to be careful not to slide up there in the wall. Just cross the start-finish line, down into 1 and 2. Holding that bottom line till they get mid-corner, a little bit past. Start to drift back out to build that momentum back up. Go down, get to the shadow, and roll out of the gas gently. You can't go all the way out of the gas or it will start to get loose on you and come around. Another interesting thing as they complete a lap, another interesting thing is that because of the way this track is designed, oftentimes if you get loose off the corner, you normally would try and turn to the right, try and correct it. However, on this track, if you try and turn to the right, you'll go flying into the wall. Sometimes it's best to just hold it and cross your fingers and hope for the best, and sometimes you actually try and turn into the spin, make a full 360, and get back going. So we'll see if we have any problems with that tonight. While we are still in the car, we're going to come around and show you that you'll see as we go by to the left will be the pit road entry right there. They have to get woed up very quickly from the speeds they're running now, about 140, 150, even 160, and they have to get rolled out of it, get woed up without losing too much time. We'll come back around one more time and see where the pit road exit is. Now that's where things will get interesting, because these guys, as you watch how they come up out of the turns, pay attention. They stay about midway and work their way out. They don't come flying out as the 21 is making a move for the lead. Craig Janzik moves to the lead. That blue line we just saw, that is the pit road exit cone. Once you hit that cone, you can get back out on the track. But these guys are coming out of the corner a little bit low, which means the guys coming off pit road have to be really careful. And if we got side-by-side racing when somebody's coming out of pit road, it can get a bit dicey. As we're coming around, we're going to complete 37 laps. Drop back here. Nathan Meyer has moved up into 4th, but the really big mover right behind him, that number 13 champion truck of Eli Child, started in 15th, as we mentioned earlier, all the way up to 4. Oh!
24 around, turn 1.
That was Matt Mosniak, the race control. Really appreciate having him there. We will see if we can catch that replay. As we watch the 24, looked like Eli got a little loose, had to catch it up the hill, got into the back. That was purely accidental, and then looks like Robert Wynn just barely missed it getting into the 24. And must give a shout out to that 24, Nathan Myers. He held it up on the wall. Waited for everybody to get by, then got back out. You'll see a lot of times some guys in the open races, they won't hold their position until the caution is out and everybody gets by. That can cause some problems. And since we've got Craig Janzik leading the race, and it's lap 40, we'll give it a minute here and just see if Craig's going to come to pit road. Alright, Craig is on pit road, so we'll see if we can pull him in and talk to him real quick. Hey Craig, this is Doug in the booth. You got me?
Doug, loud and clear, sir. What's going on?
Hey man, I thought you weren't very confident tonight. Looks pretty dominating out there.
I did say those words. I even went, you know what, I know how true that is. I went and said on Facebook that this isn't one of my best tracks. So this is what I get for that. I do feel really good out here tonight. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a little surprised at it, but you know, we're just gonna have to see how the end of this stage goes here. Looks like we're gonna have maybe one or two that are gonna be on old tires here that are gonna be a challenge to get around to get to the stage. So we'll see what's before us here, buddy. And man, it's been fun out here so far. I'm really glad we got that run to start.
Yeah, it did look like a lot of fun. And James Harris was very confident coming into this race. You're giving him a run for his money. Definitely keep that up.
Yeah, thank you. It did feel good to be able to get back around him there. Looking forward to maybe keeping it out front here. We'll see what goes on.
All right. Well, thanks for taking the time, and good luck. Stay clean, and hopefully we'll see you after the race.
Thank you, sir. I hope the broadcast is great.
Thank you. That was Craig Janzik, their current race leader. Now, as he said, that 28 truck in front of him is on old tires. I'm checking to see if he was one of those that pit earlier. That's Russ Kilgore. He pitted about 9 laps ago. So his tires aren't that much older, but he does have the potential, because of the abrasive nature of this track, to spin the tires on the restart. That can cause some real problems. As they come around, we should get one to green, and he's going to get waved by and get his lap back. Excuse me. My apologies. So as they come around, they get one lap. They should be getting the one to go. We saw the 28 come back around. He's back on the lead lap. He's only a few only 9 laps on those tires, so that should keep him in pretty good stead, and that puts James Harris and the 21 of Craig Janzik right back up there at the front. We'll watch this restart from up high and see if Craig can get a good jump. Now that he is on fresh tires, looks like pretty much everybody through 20th is on the same tire strategy, and we've got Russ Kilgore, he's got 11 lap old tires. Nathan Meyer, he's on the same strategy. Looks like Kyle Spees is still on pit road. 16 laps down, and Garth Snyder 17 laps down currently, unfortunately. Hopefully these guys can get back out, pick up some laps, get back in this thing. I know we've seen Kyle Spees up front. He is always fast in these trucks, so we should be seeing him back up front if he can make up some of them laps. As they come down the 21, Craig Janzik gets a good jump, takes it right out of turn 4. Coming across the line, he had a full second on James Harris, but it'll take him half a lap to get back up to speed, and I imagine James is going to close some of that gap just a little bit. Now, we do know Craig Janzik is a big proponent of saving his tires early in a run, taking it a bit easy. If you can save the tires even just a little bit that first 10 laps, it can make a heck of a difference later in a run. We should also see a stage break in about 5 laps. As the 21 comes back, leads another lap. Lap 45 of 120. The battle up front is close. And let's not forget that right behind them, that man right there, the number 13 of Eli Childs, he is closing that gap. He started in 15th, and throughout that 40-lap run, managed to work his way all the way up to 3rd, the biggest move of anybody in the race so far. Looks like Sheldon Pearson has moved up about 8 spots as well. He started in 22nd. He's up to 14th. We've got quite a few guys from the back that are working their way forward. And that 13 is closing the gap on those 2 leaders. So we might be seeing Eli Childs at the front of this pack before long. There is the 7th place car, Jacob Givens. Haven't talked about him much recently, but he is currently running in 7th, started in 12th. Looks like he might be on a bit of a tear, folks. And he is on the same pit strategy as everybody else, so nobody has an advantage over him tonight, and he is definitely working his way forward. He is turning some really fast laps. He was actually faster than the leaders the last lap. 2nd fastest car on the track. Fastest truck on the track as we come to the stage break. Lap 50, we are at the end of stage 1, and Craig Janzik gets 2 bonus points. I would imagine that James Harris is a little bit nervous now. He just opened his points lead up just a little bit. And there is the 21, Craig Janzik. Led quite a few laps so far tonight. Doesn't look like he's given up first place very much. But the big mover tonight, that 13 of Eli Childs. Let's see if we can reach out to Eli and talk to him real quick. Hey Eli, this is Doug in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Well, sir, you started way back there in 15th, and you're already up to 3rd, and you were moving through the field like crazy. So you got something for these leaders, I'm assuming?
I get these runs. I think I can. That's what I did there in that first run, was just save my tires and everybody went a little hard in the beginning, and I was just picking them off one at a time.
Well, it looks like your strategy's paying off. So you're coming down pit road to get another set already. Are you worried about conserving a set for later, or are you just going to go for it and follow the leader?
We'll conserve a set for later. We still got 2 sets after I put this new set on, so, and we were running pretty hard those last like 8 laps, so time to put some freshies on.
That is true. Well, good luck to you, sir. Hopefully we'll be talking to you later on in the night, or maybe even after the race.
I appreciate it.
That was Eli Childs in that 13 car. Putting on quite a show up there. As we saw all the leaders, they've only been out for about 10 laps. And they're getting fresh tires. Looks like the first car that stayed out might be Jay Culp. And that number 88. And as we've mentioned in the previous broadcast, but it definitely bears repeating tonight, Jay Culp is an active duty Marine, and there are several members of this field that are first responders, military, veterans, everything under the sun. We've got firefighters, we've got police officers, like I said, Marine, Army, Air Force, as we saw the a couple weeks ago when they were running their excuse me, their paint schemes for Memorial Day. Got quite a bit of these guys that have served our country, and we're very thankful for their service. And just looking through the lap times, the fastest lap tonight was actually by James Harris. But not by much, by 8 1/1000ths of a second faster than Eli Childs. And I would imagine that, looks like Eli said, he can definitely save those tires early in the run and make them work for him at the end. So I'd imagine this isn't over for Eli. Now those front 4 cars, John Thacker is currently in first. He's in the number 56 car truck there, followed by Jay Culp. Sheldon Pearson started 22nd. He's already up to 3rd. And Richard Fornshell. We've seen Richard pull some tire strategy in the past in that number 90 truck and makes it work. He gets up there to the front, and people have a really hard time getting around him because he's always fast once he gets up there. Those guys are on that set of tires from that 40 lap 40 caution. So they've got about 12 laps more on those tires than everybody else behind them. And I do mean everybody else. Everybody else on the track just stopped and got tires except for those front 4 trucks. So it'll be interesting to see if 12 laps on those tires make a big difference, or if those front 2 guys can negate it and get away. As we are on 1 lap to green, they'll come around the corner, go down the back stretch. We'll wait for the pace car to drop off as he goes through turn 3 and 4. And John Thacker there on the inside will take him to the green. He will control the restart. He's chosen to start on the inside. And right behind him there is James Harris in the 44 Green Mountain Grills truck, the 21 of Craig Janzik on the outside, and a little bit further back Eli Childs in 8th. So we'll see what they can do. John Thacker gets a huge jump on that restart, caught them all napping. He got in the restart zone and went. And as they drop off into turn 3, the 44 of James Harris is already charging to the front. He's passed a couple of cars. He's passed Stephen Clegg and Jay Culp already. And now he's passing the 8 car of Sheldon Pearson. And he's got his eyes set on John Thacker up there in first. Apparently those 12 laps of extra tire wear did make a huge difference. We did say earlier in the race, this track is abrasive. It wears tires out very quickly. And even 10, 12, 15 laps, that can make a huge difference. As we're seeing here, that last lap, James Harris was a half second faster than John Thacker. And we definitely need to go look. We'll wait, see when James makes the pass for the lead as they come out of the turn. Going down into turn 1, he's already starting to look to the inside. John Thacker pulls a little bit lower. James is going to be able to hold it a little bit better off the corner going down into turn 3. He's still kind of tucked in back there. He's not pushing it too hard just yet. I was about to say it looked like James was content to sit in second, but I know he wants to get the most laps led and get that bonus point. Especially after Craig Janzik winning the stage. And as we come to the halfway point in the race, next lap by should be the halfway mark. It is John Thacker, James Harris, Stephen Clegg, Sheldon Pearson, and Robert Wynn in the top 5. James definitely closed the gap. He might be. There he goes. He's going to duck down to the inside. John Thacker just can't hold down there at the bottom. Not as well as James can, and James Harris to the lead as we come to halfway. And it's definitely worth going to find that 13 truck again. That is Eli Childs. He has dropped back. He started about 8th on that restart. He's currently running 9th. But as we heard him say, he saves his tires a bit on the early in the run and then makes his move after they've got worn in a bit. So I'd give him a few more laps and we might see him come storming to the front. And right in front of him is that 21 truck. That is Craig Janzik, your points leader. James Harris is up there at the front. He's definitely wanting to get up there. He doesn't want to give James any more points than he has to. He's got a 2-point advantage on the night already. So he is definitely going to want to hurry up, get back up to the front, and try and get some laps led. Keep James from leading too many points, as we see a little bit of a battle going back here. There's the 13, the 17. That is Eli Childs, Brandon Ball, and Jacob Givens. It looks like Brandon Ball's trying to make a run on Eli. As they come out of turn 2, it looked like he might have had a run a few minutes ago. Eli's going to hold that bottom line. It is extremely difficult to pass to the outside here. And Brandon gets the line opened up. Looked like he drifted up just a hair, but he's going to pull it back down. Makes the move. And Brandon Ball is going to move up into 8th if he can hold it down. And Jacob Givens is going to follow him through into 9th, pushing 13 of Eli Childs back into 10th. But right now they are all chasing that man in the 44 Green Mountain Grills truck. That is James Harris out front. Now they've got these guys that change tires on that at the stage break. They're now 17 laps onto these tires, whereas guys like Sheldon Pearson and Jay Culp, they're at 30 laps on those tires. We'll start to see a little bit more slipping and sliding from some of these guys. But right behind James Harris, that 22 of Stephen Clegg is hanging right on to him. His last lap, he was actually a 1/10 of a second faster. And there is Robert Wynn, already up in 3rd place. He's currently 3rd in points behind Craig and James Harris. As they come around, they're going to get 50 laps to go, 70 down. And there's your points leader in the 21 truck, Craig Janzik. Just getting around that 73 of Brian Lorenzo and that 17 of Brandon Ball. And he is charging back up to the front. He is now up in 4th. And there is Brian Lorenzo currently running 5th, followed by Jonathan Diamond in 6th. There's the number 17 of Brandon Ball, currently running in 7th, and right behind him is Jacob Givens. And we saw the 13 truck slip back to 10th earlier. These two guys managed to get by him, but now we're later in the run on these older tires, and look there. Here comes Eli Childs starting to make a move back towards the front. And we saw him late in that 40-lap run, about halfway through, about where we're at now, 23 laps on these tires. He started moving forward again, so we'll see if he can make a move and get up there to the front. As Eli ducks low, he's making a move for 8th place and starting to close the gap on Brandon Ball in the 17. And looks like Eli is running some of the fastest laps on the track right now. In fact, he might be running the fast. Last lap, the fastest lap was Craig Janzik in the 21, and Eli Childs was the 2nd fastest. So we see two guys there, the 21 and the 13, both charging towards the front. And drop back here to 10th. That Marvel truck there is Robert Wynn Jr. Now, Senior told me they have a tendency to run the same strategy, especially after the amazing win that Robert Wynn Sr. pulled off at Texas Motor Speedway. Said his son's starting to believe when he tells them they can go the distance on fuel, they can. He said he's getting a lot better about saving his tires and his fuel, and we're seeing great performance out of him. He's already up there in the top 10 and closing in on Jacob Givens in the 9th place position. Back in 12th place, that is John Fix. Haven't had a chance to talk much about him tonight. He is currently running in 12th place and still running some pretty consistent laps even this late into the run. He is definitely faster than the guy who's behind him, and he's actually faster than 3 or 4 of these guys in front of him, so we should see him start to move up as well. We've seen in past races he comes on later in the run as well, just like Eli Childs is doing tonight. Right behind him is that 88 of Jay Culp. Remember, he is on older tires. He is holding on to 13th place. He's got John Thacker behind him, also on those older tires. And then Nathan Meyer in the 24 behind them. He is on fresher tires. But at this point, the tires are probably starting to balance out just a little bit. Oh! Looked like John Fix got way slow. Might have tapped the wall there. Gives the 88 of John Culp an opportunity to get underneath, and he is going to make a pass. Looks like he will move up to 12th, and looks like John Fix might have some problems all of a sudden. He's lost 2. Looks like he's going to lose 3 spots after drifting up into the wall there. Looks like he might have it sorted out just a bit now, but he lost quite a few positions. There is John Thacker, and right behind him is John Fix. We saw him having some problems a moment ago. Wanted to try and take a look at his car, see if he's got any kind of damage. See if we can get focused in on him here in just a moment. As they come around, looks like John Fix is starting to look like he was starting to make a little. I'm sorry, that is Garth Snyder in that truck that was having some difficulties. And let's hop back up and check on the leaders as James Harris is still out front. He has got a 1.1 second lead over Robert Wynn. But Robert Wynn is about to have his hands full, as here comes Craig Janzik on the inside, just monsters past him. And moves into second place and starts to try and close the gap on him just a bit. Looks like Craig is still about 1.1 seconds behind, but his last lap, he was 0.2 of a second faster than James Harris. At that rate, he will close that gap in 5 or 6 laps. 32 laps to go. They will probably make one more pit stop, and we just passed halfway into this stage. So we will start to see some different tire strategy play out here in a few moments. Looks like Brandon Ball and Russ Kilgore are both on pit road right now, getting 4 fresh sneakers on, and they are going to get back out, try and see if they can make up a little bit of time on the track with those 4 fresh tires. They are running, we'll have to watch, but they are running almost a second and a half slower than they were on fresh tires just a few moments ago. As we see some cars some trucks starting to come down pit road. There's James Harris. He is closing in on the 68 truck to put him a lap down. And Craig Janzik moves up. He is closing that gap ever so rapidly. It's down to 0.6 of a second now. Still consistently gaining 0.2 of a second. James Harris has got to be worried. It looks like he'll probably lock up those that point for the most laps led. But again, Craig Janzik got the stage win. So even as they run now, Craig will actually widen his lead tonight. And back there in third, that's the number 16 Metallica truck. That is Robert Wynn Sr. Now, Robert Wynn Sr. is actually not a senior. It's just Robert Wynn Jr. They have carried that Robert Wynn name through the family. However, it is easier when broadcasting so that people don't get confused to make sure. And let's go see where Junior is. There's Robert Wynn Jr. in that Captain Marvel car. Looks like he runs a different Marvel paint scheme every week, and that one being the from the Captain Marvel movie. It looks like he's got Black Panther on the front as well. So those are the two dominant movies on that car this week. And he is currently in 7th place. About 8 seconds behind Dad, but closing that gap pretty quickly. Now here's the interesting question. Will the Wynn family try and stay out? It looks like James Harris might have finally gone to pit road. Yes, he did. The 21 of Craig Janzik is staying out and will reclaim the lead as he comes down out of turn 4 onto pit road. Now that yellow cone there, they have to be rode up to the pit road speed limit by the time they get there. 25 laps to go, and that 16 truck of Robert Wynn is out in front. 24 laps to go. Now he's got 46 laps on the tires. I know he can probably make it pretty easily on fuel. The question will be his tire situation, but right behind him, he's about to lose that lead to the number 13 of Eli Childs. As we talked about earlier, we knew Eli'd be come storming back to the front after they got some tires on. But look at the difference in speed between these two right now. Last lap, Eli was 0.3 of a second faster. As we see, it looks like they're going to have to overtake James Harris. But James on those 4 fresh Goodyears just takes off. He's gone. And we'll watch their lap times as they come around. Eli Child's last lap was a 24.9. Robert Wynn's was a 25.1. We'll see what James Harris runs on his next lap. Probably be quite a bit faster. I think these guys can go the distance. I do not think they're going to want to. And it looks like the 21 of Craig Janzik is... I'm sorry, that is the 17 behind them. Brandon Ball. And he's moving to the outside of Eli. He's working on trying to get his lap as Robert Wynn continues to lead. We talked about last lap, Robert Wynn ran a 24.7. James Harris is running a 22.7, so almost a 2-second difference. But James Harris is currently 1 lap down, so he's going to have to come all the way around. And even at 2 seconds a lap with 20 laps to go, it may not be enough time, because not only does he have to come back around, he's got to fight everybody else that's out there on fresh tires. So Robert Wynn is definitely playing out this tire strategy yet again. And currently running third on the same strategy as Dad is Robert Wynn Jr. currently sitting in third. Dan Starner in that 35, he stayed out as well. He's about 3 seconds behind Robert Wynn Jr. Then we go back to the 22, Stephen Clegg. Stephen Clegg currently running in 5th. He is still out on old tires as well. He is 11 seconds behind the leader, immediately followed by the 24, Nathan Meyer. Again, Nathan is also still out there as we see Craig Janzik. He is charging around these cars on old tires, trying to get his lap back, and currently running ahead of James Harris. There is no more tire strategy or fuel strategy for these guys that just pitted about 8 laps ago. It is just all out, all the way to the front. And we'll ride along with Craig Janzik here for a moment. Watch and see how fast he comes up on these cars. we'll hop to his in-car camera and you can see the close rate on some of these cars as he comes around. As he's closing in on the number 8 truck, and that is Sheldon Pearson. As we saw him come around, Robert Wynn Jr. there, he's just flying around. Like I said, there is almost 2 second lap difference. But currently the fastest laps on the track are being run by the man directly behind him, that 44 truck. That is James Harris. These guys might actually work together just a little bit. They've got 13 laps to go. They've got a lot of distance to close. They're still a lap down, but they are close to catching back up to the 13 of Eli Childs. But Eli has taken the lead. He is out front and got quite a bit of traffic around him at the moment. That will slow him down. Even those guys out there with fresh tires, if he has to battle with them, that's going to slow him down just a little bit as he gets under the 88 of Jay Culp. Jay Culp still running in about 8th place, and there are only currently 5 cars on the lead lap. Eli Childs, Robert Wynn Jr., Dan Starner, and Nathan Meyer. Everybody else currently being shown 1 lap down with 11 laps to go. Those guys that are a lap down, they are hoping for some sort of miracle. And it looks like those front 5 strategy might actually just pay off. Oh, as we see the number 90 got down, he was going to pit road. Looked like he got into the inside wall just a little bit. That was the number 90 of Richard Fornshell. He was running in 7th position. He had been out for 71 laps on those tires. I'm betting he's wishing he had about 71 tires on there right now, as we see Craig Janzik and James Harris coming up on the leader. Eli Childs trying to get their laps back. 9 laps to go. They can get around him pretty easily. They are still running close to 2 seconds, but well, currently about 1.5 seconds faster than the leader, but in 8 laps, it will not be enough when they're running 22, 23 second laps. So if they can make their, if Eli and the Wins can make those tires last just a little bit longer, 7 more laps, as we see Eli Childs coming around the 22. He has been out there for 63 laps, but the 88 of Jay Culp has been out even longer, 74 laps. He pitted on that caution on lap 40. He did not pit at the stage break to get the advantage to be up front. Looks like he might have actually been out just a little bit longer than that, as Eli Childs stopped at the lap 40 caution. Did not stop at the stage break, and here he is leading, followed by the 16 of Robert Wynn. There's Robert Wynn, currently running in 2nd place, followed by his son, Robert Wynn Jr., in 3rd in that Captain Marvel and Black Panther truck. The 24 of Nathan Meyer currently running in 4th, and Dan Starner in the 35 currently running 5th. Craig Janzik currently in 6th place, 20 seconds back from the leader, but they are closing rapidly on that 5th place car of Daniel Starner. But with 4 laps to go, I don't think they're going to be able to close that gap. Eli Childs has a 9-second lead currently over the 16 of Robert Wynn and the 89 of Robert Wynn Jr. Now, unlike the Cup cars, these trucks are a lot more stable. That allows them, at this track in particular, that does allow them to hold on to that truck just a little bit longer. Makes it easier to save tires. Caution with 3 to go. They will have a green-white checkered, and all strategy is out the window. That is going to put Eli Childs at a distinct disadvantage. And as they come around, we'll see if we can get and then we're watching the 16 truck. Robert Wynn Sr. Looks like Jonathan Diamond just got in there underneath of him a little too deep. Bumped him up into the wall. He manages to only lose a couple of positions. And then number 16 and 24 come down pit road to get 4 fresh tires. As we see the 16 and the 24 going to their pit stalls. That puts the 89 of Robert Wynn Jr. Let's see if he is... No, he stayed out. Currently, the scoring is showing him as leading. Looks like Eli Childs chose to come down. There's only about 8 cars on the lead lap. So with a green-white checkered restart, this will definitely make for some interesting racing here at the end. Once they come off of pit road, we'll be able to update the standings and tell you that Robert Wynn Jr. is currently leading. Looks like Jonathan Diamond, by virtue of his position, is going to get a lap back. That will put him back on the lead lap. That'll put about 9 trucks still on the lead lap when we go green again. As we see the number 13 of Eli Childs. There is the 24, Nathan Meyer. They are moving back to the front. We'll start seeing these cars that are a lap down falling back as the lead lap cars are going to come to the front. And it looks like everybody on the lead lap, including Eli Childs, Nathan Meyer, Robert Wynn, Dan Starner, Craig Janzik, and James Harris, and Brian Lorenzo, they all came down and got 4 fresh tires. And I am sure Robert Wynn Jr. is sitting out there right now feeling like the loneliest man in the world. So currently they are running Robert Wynn Jr. is in the lead with Eli Childs, Nathan Meyer, Robert Wynn, Dan Starner, Craig Janzik, James Harris, and Brian Lorenzo. That is your top 8. That is all your lead lap cars. Jonathan Givens, Stephen Clegg, Brandon Ball, Gary Lynch, John Thacker, Jay Culp, and Robert Lawrence round out your top 15, followed by Sheldon Pearson, Jonathan Diamond, Richard Fornshell, John Fix, Russ Kilgore, Stephen Pless, and looks like Kyle Spees is out of the race, and Garth Snyder is still about 20 laps down after some difficulties early on. As we get the 1 to green, it will be a green-white checkered, which means the leader will have to come around and pick up the white flag, or they will get another attempt at a green-white checkered. We haven't seen a green-white checkered in this league in a couple of weeks, so this will definitely make for some exciting racing. I believe the last time we saw that was at Nashville. And that was an interesting finish, to say the least. Eli Childs currently sitting there in the catbird seat. Even though he's in second, he's got the inside line, 4 fresh tires, and a car with old tires up front. Now, Robert Wynn Jr.'s got to be very careful on his restart not to spin his tires. Fortunately, he will have control of the restart. So it looks like they wave off the green for one more lap. And there is Robert Wynn Sr. right behind his son, Robert Wynn Jr. on the outside. Dad is in the 16 on the outside, and his son directly in front of him. Now you got to wonder if Dad needs to get around. Is he going to give him the chrome horn? And Craig Janzik, our points leader, sitting in 5th. James Harris is currently showing in 7th, so still got a points battle going on back here too. Remember, Craig did win the stage, so he's got a 2-point advantage. But it looked like James Harris led the most laps. They'll have 2 green flag laps, 2 miles to go to settle this tonight, as we watch for the pace car to go off pit road, and we'll watch for Robert Wynn Jr. to get the restart. But on this restart, the ones to watch will be that 13, 16, and everybody else behind him. Robert Wynn Jr. controlling the restart. There he goes. He's got the jump. Now they cannot pass to the inside before the start-finish line. Eli Childs has to be very careful. They get past the start-finish line. Eli Childs to the inside. Robert Wynn cannot hold him off. His tires are 74 laps old. He is going to get freight train through here. As we see the 13 and the 24, that's Eli Childs, Nathan Meyer battling for first. They've got a little bit of a breakaway on Robert Wynn Sr. behind him. 1 lap to go. White flag is in the air. Eli Childs is in the lead. Will Nathan Meyer have anything for him? The points battle's heating up in the back. James Harris has moved up directly behind Craig Janzik. But as we come out of turn 4, it looks like Eli Childs will take the win at Dover. Eli currently sitting 4th in points, and he finished 1st. James Harris finished in 5th. Craig Janzik ended up finishing in 6th. So Eli is going to make up some points on Robert Wynn. Robert Wynn ended up finishing in 3rd. We'll go through your finishing order real quick. Eli Childs is the winner. Nathan Meyer, as we start to see celebrations. Eli Childs wins. Nathan Meyer, Robert Wynn Sr., Dan Starner, James Harris, Craig Janzik. Robert Wynn Jr. comes home 7th. Best finish, one of his best finishes of the season. Brian Lorenzo 8th. Stephen Clegg, Jake Hulp round out your top 10. Oh, what do you say we go talk to that guy spinning around right there? Hey, Eli, this is Doug in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
That kind of was a lucky break on that caution. You managed to get tires and keep your position, or almost keep your position.
Yeah, it was. I did not want to see that caution come out, but it all worked out because I was so far ahead of second, and everybody else. I was a lonely soul on pit road, so kind of worked out for me.
Yeah, it did. You had, I think it was almost an 8-second lead over second place there right before the caution. You had quite a run tonight.
Yeah, everybody started pitting. I said, well, it kind of feels like it's going to go green, so I just figured I'd run it out, and everybody went 2 laps down. I was like, there's no way they're going to catch back up to me if it stays green. So
when the caution came out, I think you were still about 20 seconds ahead of Craig and James, so you had the 2 more dominant trucks other than yourself, of course, you had probably one of the most dominant runs starting in 15th. You'd moved up very quickly in that first run, and then watched you on that second run about 20 laps in. You just decided to turn it up, and you started flying by everybody again.
Yeah, I definitely, like you say, it's all about saving the tires. That was the big thing, was saving tires, and everybody else kind of burned them up, and I was just, it looked like I was flying, but I was still running my pace, and everybody else was kind of slowing down, so it definitely worked out in my favor.
Yes, it did. And I didn't think you were going to run into any problems with Robert Wynn Jr. there. Was there any discussion on the radio as you came to the green flag about making sure he didn't spin his tires or, get into anybody?
No, actually there wasn't. I just kind of held back a little bit and waited for him to go, and then, once I seen him get going, I took off, and he stayed high for me in turn one.
Well, yeah, he did, and that was definitely one heck of a run. He actually ran 76 laps on his tires. You would have had pretty much the same had it stayed green.
Oh, yeah, that whole second stage would have been I think my tires were 33% when I pitted.
Oh, my gosh. Well, congratulations. It all worked out. Yeah, that's your second win of the season, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's 2 in a row.
That is correct. Well, congratulations. Go and celebrate and have a great night.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, that was your winner, Eli Childs. Again, Eli Childs takes the win. Your points leader, Craig Janzik, finishes 6th. James Harris in second points finished 5th. Robert Wynn Sr., he was 3rd in points and managed to finish 3rd, so he's going to gain a little ground on both of those points leaders. And Eli Childs probably going to gain a lot of ground on those guys. Craig Janzik did get the 2 bonus points for winning the first stage, and do believe that James Harris will have won the point for the most laps led tonight. So another great race from these guys, the Green Mountain Grills Fast and Fun Leagues, Truck League. Definitely go check out Green Mountain Grills and get yourself a rub or get some great recipes. They have some really good stuff for pretty much anything you could want to grill. And they have some great grills as well. So everybody at PTM Racing TV, thanks for tuning in tonight for this great race at the Monster Mile, and hope you all have a wonderful night.